Hello everyone and welcome to this episode of the Depression Diaries. Um, there's a couple of things that I need to cover. Um, I was doing really well about a month back where I was bringing out a video, at least one video a day, and it was going well. And then I became unwell again. It was unexpected. I expect at about the middle of May to go into a depressive cycle. This was something unexpected, and it was frustrating because right at the time that I was not necessarily in the groove, but I was bringing something out consistently for a couple of weeks, I become ill, and suddenly we've got a former prince and a soon-to-be former lord both arrested. We had the Green Party winning the by-election in the I think it's Manchester area, Galton and something, and Trump and Netanyahu start a war against Iran at a time when I could have been producing a lot of videos discussing that, and I just couldn't. I couldn't. There were some days when I couldn't even get out of bed. I don't know why it came on like that. It just did. And that's the first thing. I've had a month of just feeling the effects of long COVID more often. So I've not just gone into a depressive cycle, I've gone into a cycle of the long COVID symptoms of fatigue, breathlessness. My memory hasn't got any better, so that isn't one of the problems I've had. It's kept at the right kind of level, but I've been drowsy. I've been sleeping 12 hours a day, and then it's 12 hours a night, and then falling asleep on the sofa because my brain just switched off. As I was coming out of it, I managed to watch some movies right the way through, amazingly, and I will be reviewing them soon. But it's taken me a month to get to this. And then this morning, about half an hour ago, I just finished getting off of a phone, having an appointment for the mental health triage in the local IAPT service, improving access to psychological therapies, and that has knocked me down a bit. I'm trying to work through it, but it's the fact that I had to keep going over the same things that I already told someone at that service when I referred myself to the service. It's ridiculous, and it's frustrating. I don't know whether anyone else has this problem, but I'm pretty sure it's not just me that gets this. But it's when you have to keep going over the stuff. It's the same when you've got to when you put through the assessment process for disability benefits. Every time you have to go through the same stuff again and again, not therapeutically, just to relate the problem. And it just dredges everything up again. That is not stopping me from doing some work in the background, though. As I've said in a recent update video, I am working on something a bit different, and it's going to be a bit more formal, not one of these, not necessarily rambling videos, but more focused, less verbose videos, and I am working on that at the moment. I'm hoping to do multiple seasons of 10 episodes. So I am still trying to do work in the background while I've got this crap going on, that the mental health, not necessarily crisis, but the slump, the current slump that was unexpected, on top of the resurgence of the long COVID problem, and knowing that in about 6 weeks I'm going to be going into my usual slump in May, which will last until middle of June, beginning of July. I know that's coming, so I can prepare for that. I just couldn't prepare for this latest one. But like I said, I'm trying not to let it affect me as badly as it has the last month. I am doing stuff to try and get a flow of videos going. What I might do is just make all 10 videos and then release them one a week after I've recorded them all, put them all together, and I'm going to be doing accompanying blog posts, which will explore in a more verbose way the subject of the video, and give you further reading and stuff like that. So it's going to be something special, and I just hope people want to see it, because I think it's important work, because of how events in the world and the political situation has gotten so screwed up, something needs to be done, and that's the work I'm trying to do now. And it's based on years of thinking and everything, trying to put pieces together, work things out. And I hope it will be worth it. I'm going to do an initial 10 episode season with, like I said, the accompanying stuff. And then I will continue to do a second season of 10 episodes if the first season is successful. Because unfortunately, the videos just aren't getting the response or the amount of views that I really wish they were getting. But as usual, I will state, I'm not asking anyone for any money. I'm just doing this because it gives me something to do. And hopefully it might change how people think, which is something we need to do at the moment. We really do need to start thinking differently about how we do politics, about reducing conflict by looking at what's going, where our thinking is going wrong. So I know this has been a mixture of stuff. It's not just been Depression Diaries, but it is about my depression as well, because what I'm doing is helping me cope with my depression, no matter how difficult it is. I'm still trying to do something positive, not just moan about stuff, which is great to do, but people tend to get annoyed when you're just bitching about things. Well, I'm not bitching in this new series. I'm going to be actually trying to do something positive, build something, rather than just point out where everything's going wrong, because no one seems to be listening to that. But maybe they'll listen if I'm providing an environment that could help change things. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you found it interesting, do click the like button. It really would help the channel. If you've got any thoughts, especially if you've found yourself in having the problem of being triggered by having to keep going over your story every time you see a new doctor or therapist or whatever, I'd be interested in hearing your stories in the comment section below. And do think about subscribing if you haven't already, and click the notification bell so you know when a new video has been dropped. And I hope to see you all again soon.